And now you have millions of people across the country and even millions of people across the world that now are stepping out and identifying and agreeing with what Colin Kaepernick was taking that knee for.
This is Deconstructing Dallas. Ryan Trimble, Shawn Williams. We're talking with former Dallas Cowboy and current producer Greg Ellis. We're going to take a quick break. Stick with us.
Welcome back, Deconstructing Dallas. Shawn Williams, Ryan Trimble. We are back with Greg Ellis, former Dallas Cowboy great, and also movie producer and stage play producer. So, Greg, I wanted to ask you about your new play, Juneteenth. I know there was a production of it, I believe, last year, but now you're taking it to a new platform. So can you tell us about Juneteenth?
Exactly. Well, Juneteenth, the synopsis of it, obviously I won't tell you the whole thing because we won't have enough time, but it takes place. It's a time period piece dating back to 1863. That's the start of our time. It's based in Galveston, Texas, and it shows the interactions between a slave family and other slaves and comparing how they interact with the master and the master family, if you would. And so I want people to see and have a better understanding of what slavery was actually like. And I think it kind of being unfolded or revealed in the format of a play, definitely you get that accomplished. So one of the slave men in the play named Henry is the main character. And his relationship with the master is very interesting. The master, of course, wants Henry to, submit and be a good slave. And Henry, he's not a troublemaking kind of person, but Henry has his own thoughts, and Henry is filled with wisdom. And Henry always finds something, create something, or make something out of the waste so he feels like the slaves can have something of their own. And so he constantly takes the things that master and the master family throws away and discards. He takes those things and makes them into something that tastes good if it's food, and obviously if it's clothes or whatever. But the main thing we use the road. We get on the road to get us through the story. Is Henry? Now this is fictional. This part is fictional. We pretend that Henry figured out how to make pig feet. Cook pig feet. So master usually throw the pig feet away when they're cooking the pigs. But Henry, would take those feet and would cook them and make them into something good. Long story short, master ended up finding out about those pig feet. He ends up forcing Henry to continue to make them, and he sells them, and that ends up saving the master's plantation. So that's kind of the storyline. But the story itself, obviously, we include General Gordon Granger selling into Galveston, Texas, on 1865, June 19th, and commanding for Texas to free their slaves. And we use the slave plantation that Henry is on. That's where General Granger comes in and forced that particular slave owner to release his slaves.
Now, Greg, this, the story of Juneteenth is an important one. I'm glad you're telling it, but it's important for you personally, and the characters in the play have a personal connection to you too. Is that correct?
Yes, actually, I do. I didn't know if you knew that much about it. So you do your homework. So personal, we tied it together like this. So my niece in the play, so it's a time traveling play, if you would. And so that's why I say, given the synopsis, it's hard to get everything in. But if you got guys would allow me 3 minutes, I can get this part in. And so when the play starts up, it's my niece who's sitting on the stage by herself, and she's trying to figure out a song to write for the Juneteenth festival in current modern day time period. I come up on the stage and I got my Dallas Cowboy jersey on. I'm that football player who still living the dream and want to go back and play football, but I'm way out of shape. So anyway, she cracks a couple jokes about that on me. I have on a super duper crazy outfit that people laugh at just from seeing me dressed like that. But anyway, so my niece is having a hard time coming up with that song for the Juneteenth festival. I invite her to a place that I go every Juneteenth, which is actually near and dear friends of mine who happen to be white people, but we're real close. And so I go to their house every Juneteenth. Now, I'm going to leave it up to the lady of that house to tell my niece our Juneteenth story and how and why we're so close. And so you go through the whole play, you see all this stuff. The master has a daughter who does not agree with slavery, and obviously the Henry character that I told you about. So as we trace back, this part is not true, but it makes for a good story. Henry is my great uncle, and the master's daughter, and that lady in the modern day scene, that's her great aunt, right? And so through the timeline, and this is the reconciliation component of it, and why I think it's definitely for a time like this that we are in America, where race tensions are very high, that we show that even during slavery, not all white people were in favor of slavery, right? And so you have relationships between Henry offsprings and the slave master's daughter offsprings continue to have good relationships with each other from generation to generation to generation up until I come into existence and this white lady who we are friends to this day. So from that aspect, again, I wanted people to see and understand that we all can get along and not all people were for slavery.
Well, you've given our listeners a lot to want to go see the play. And so,
yeah.
I think the cool thing now is that there's going to be a virtual stream of the play that's going to be available. So if you could, tell us about that stream. And then, my question also would be, is that going to be something that people can get in contact with past now?
Of course. You can go to our website, and that website is www.juneteenththeplay.com. So it's Juneteenth, JUNETEENTHEPLAY.com, Juneteenth the Play. You can go there and you can click on tickets and you can register for as we call pay-per-view it on the live stream. The tickets are only $10, so it's not an expensive fee to it. And we're going to donate some proceeds from the play to CIS, which is Communities in School, Dallas regional area. So it's a good feel all around. And we got a couple other Juneteenth organizations and other organizations that also will receive some money from the proceeds of the play as well. So when you watch the play, you're not just going to be entertained, you're going to be educated, you're going to learn something. And the biggest thing that you will learn is the importance of why Juneteenth needs to be a national holiday. And equally, you will also learn why the racial, systemic race issues that we're dealing with today, where they come from, the origins of a lot of those issues that we're dealing with today will be revealed within the play as well.
Now, Greg, what's some of the feedback you've received from people that have watched the play?
Man, it's been amazing. And I am humbled, and I thank God for, using me to create something like that. And I definitely don't say that boasting, but you hear stories about how hard it is to transition for athletes and to transition into something else. And so to transition into writing and producing and directing, and people are shocked, they're floored, and the comments are, man, I wish I would have brought more people to see this play. When are you showing it again? Can we see it again? I didn't know it was going to be that good. I've had people cry. I have people come up to me after the show is over and they tell this one guy, he said, man, this is amazing. I now have a better understanding as to why things are the way they are in present day time. So it's definitely an eye-opening play, but at the same time, it's entertaining as well.
Well, I can't wait to watch this. I'm excited, and communities and schools is a client of ours, so we're glad that they're going to be able to benefit. If our listeners want to find out more about the show, please, share the website again, and as well as any social media where they can find you.
Man, just go to the website. It's www. Juneteenth the play. So it's JUNETEENTHEPLAY.com. So it's Juneteenth the play. You can find me on Facebook, Greg Ellis 98. Twitter, I think it's Greg Ellis 98, and I think it's the same thing on Instagram, Greg Ellis 98. So I'm not hard to find. You can just pull me up, you'll find me. There's even a number that I welcome the people to call, and it's 469-494-3508. Again, that's 469-494-3508. And so that's out there as well. It's a business phone. And so people are welcome to call that to find out more information about the play as well.
Well, I know you've got other irons in the fire as well. So hopefully we can get you back on another day when we can talk about even more of your projects.
Man, I appreciate you guys having me on for this one.
All right. Well, this is, we were talking to Greg Ellis. This is Deconstructing Dallas, Shawn Williams, Ryan Trimble. We'll be right back right after this.
Welcome back, Deconstructing Dallas. Ryan Trimble, Shawn Williams. Shawn, what a nice guy, man. Greg Ellis, that was great and so exciting what he's got going with Juneteenth, the stage play.
Yeah, and one theme that I've had over the last 3 weeks is that we can all make a difference. We can all help make things better, and Greg Ellis is definitely doing that with this stage play, very much ahead of his time. As far as that goes. And I can't wait to watch the live stream myself and also see Greg doing a little acting.
Yeah, I'm excited about his cameo role. So big thanks again to Greg for coming on. Shawn, what are you planning to do to celebrate Juneteenth?
Well, I'm going to take most of the day off. I actually had one meeting that got scheduled, but I think I'm going to take most of the day off. But usually we go out to Fair Park because the Dallas Historical Society, which I am a member of the board for the Dallas Historical Society, and at the Hall of State, we have the only known copy of General Order Number 3, the order which was read by Major General Gordon Granger. And so we have a copy of the document at Fair Park and at the Hall of State. And usually I take the kids and we go take a look at the document. This year, I do not think that will be what we will do. And so I will, as my dad said, I'll usually get a drink and get some barbecue and, have a celebration and remembrance with my kids and just think about, where we are and how closely proximate the holiday is this year to all the discussions, conversations, protests that we are having related to racism. And, everything that we're talking about has all of this history wrapped up in it. And so I will be celebrating the ancestors and everything they overcame and the fact that they made it to that day.
Well, I hope you enjoy, Shawn Williams.
And I hope you enjoy it as well. And I encourage everyone to check out the stage play, check out the screening. You can visit Juneteenth